sworn to please. Represented by Deputy Provost Professor Let's put our hands together for him for being with us. And quickly, the BBC Academic, Professor Banike Elisha, Registrar, Mr. Usman Manusan, who is ably represented. Let's put our hands together for his representative, please. Also, Bosa, can we put our hands together for him also even in the attention. The university and faculties that have with us, all professors here with us, all staff and students here present, gentlemen of the praise, ladies and gentlemen. Today being Thursday, 22nd of July 2026, Analytical Dynamic. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the house and to listen for our lecture today. Let's put our hands together for all that are here. And may I quickly, at this moment, invite the Vice Chancellor to come, Professor J.S. Amoo, the Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Wukari.
Governing Council of Federal University of Wukari, Deans and Directors, other members of Senate, the inaugural lecturer, invited guests, and very senior staff of the university, entire members of the university community, our dear students, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 14th inaugural lecture of this university. Today, we are happy to have Professor Sikiru Adesina Amoo, a distinguished professor of fluid mechanics and analytical dynamics, to give us a lecture titled Mathematics, the Nucleus of Life and All Professions, Remembrance, Knowledge, Understanding, and Applications. Let me appreciate the Department of Mathematics. I think this is the second inaugural lecture we are having from the Department of Mathematics. True or false? Yes. DH is not from that department. So that's the second one. Should I not commend them? Nobody is asking for them. Again, by extension, let me appreciate the faculty of physical sciences, because they are all from that faculty. I believe Dr. Amoo will do justice to this topic that he has chosen for himself, and we will know the type of such projects he undertook, and even supervision of students, etc., that have combined to give him this position of Professor of Fluid Mechanics and Analytical Dynamics. Certainly, Professor Amoo is a distinguished professor in this university, well respected, very, very beautiful and resourceful. I won't talk much on him again because we are going to have a citation on him. The citation will be given by Dr. Isaac Olopode, the Deputy Director of Academic Planning. It's my pleasure to invite him to give the citation.
قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري وعقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صراط الذين انعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. The registrar, the bursar, the university librarian, provost, college of medical or health sciences, members of governing council, dean, faculty of physics, HOD, mathematics, HOD statistics, HOD of all other departments, members of staff, faculty of physical sciences, members of staff, mathematics, non-academic staff, mathematics, and other departments, all other academic colleagues, the academic scholars, all administrative and technical staff, my imam, other spiritual leaders, and temporal, royal fathers of the day, traditional rulers, paramount rulers, plant-test academics, distinguished students of mathematics and other students connected with mathematics departments, members of university alumni associations, and electrical media, great Catholics, I greet the OSUIs, the OUIs, UIs, and Unilori alumni, distinguished guests, all those who have benefited from my endowed knowledge of mathematics. The students I taught at the inception of the university, the great scholars among them, those employed here in this university to give back to the university, the great Prof, great Prof, great Prof, great Prof, ladies and gentlemen, an inaugural lecture presents a professor's academic journey, research focus, and future scholarly direction. It represents rights and intellectual and moral obligations owed to the university community. This lecture reflects my scholarly identity, contributions as a professor of mathematics. The discussion we will listen to today examines the mathematics as research, problem-solving practice, and applied knowledge across professions. Mathematical learning operates through remembrance, knowledge acquisition, understanding and application. Mathematics advances as nucleus of life and all disciplines. For example, if you look at biology, the nucleus is the control center of life, responsible for memory, regulation, replication, and creativity. Mathematics performs an equivalent role for human knowledge, professions, and universe at large. Mathematics functions as the invisible command center underlying all disciplines and individual creations. Just as DNA encodes life, mathematics encodes logic, structure, and order across professions. Mathematical principles determine physical structures, natural phenomena, and socio-economic systems. Scientific laws, economic models, definitional analytics functions as mathematical genetic codes. Mathematics enables the accurate replication of knowledge across time, space, and dimensions. Mathematical truths remain universally valid, regardless of place, culture, or era. In mathematics, we have algorithms, compound interest, and predictive model exemplify mathematical replication and continuity. Civilization depends on mathematical reproducibility to preserve and transmit reliable knowledge. Mathematics regulates complex systems by maintaining balance, stability, and coordination. In engineering, there's what we call engineering control system. We can make economic policies with the knowledge of mathematics. We can as well get what we call medical models and environmental simulation, relying on the use of mathematics. Mathematical regulation prevents chaos in technology and societal development. Mathematics translates abstract thought into functional reality. Architecture, engineering, medicine, and artificial intelligence are products of mathematical synthesis. If you look at modern technologies, they are materials of expressions of underlying mathematical structure. As DNA sustains biological life, also mathematics sustains citation and professional practice. All gratitude is over to God for my life, guidance, and the privilege of delivering these inaugural lectures. Lecture marks the fundamental in the faculty of physical sciences, and the department of mathematics. This is the 14th edition, or the 14th in the series in this university. 5th in the faculty of physical sciences. 2nd from the department. 4th from below rivers Niger and Benin Draw. 3rd from southwest Nigeria. 1st from the Muslim community. The first inaugural lecture from the department was given by Professor Philip Oladapo July 2025, with the title Mathematics is an outstanding fortress against school and catalyst for technological advances, thinking beyond boundaries. I appreciate him for the effort to put the best setter and whose inaugural lecture preceded mine for setting the pace for keeping the mask flying high. I thought within me that when he presented, I now said, èmi ló kàn láti fi hàn pé ẹ̀kọ́ ìṣirò jẹ́ ohun tí Olúwa dẹ́dà dá fún àwa ẹ̀dá rẹ̀ láti mọ ìwúlò fún wa nínú ìgbésí ayé ìwà. It is my turn to let people know that mathematics was created by God for everyone to learn in our life, for our living. From his presentation, we are thinking beyond boundaries of what was not mere equation and model without practical application to life. The lecture of mine is situated in the mathematics with specific grounding in full memories and analytical. The theme integrates remembrance, knowledge, understanding, and application as 4 ways to mathematical meaning. The lecture reflects on the past achievements, present realities, and future directions in mathematical research and education. God as a created mathematician created every one of us as a creator. Man is only the user of mathematics. That's the utility concept. God uses numbering in his creation and guides man on the uses of man's daily uses. The first verse referring to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Quran are in chapter 96, Al-Haq, which consists of 19 words, 76 letters. God is the greatest. 19 words, 76 letters, which reads Ikra bi ismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Alaqal insana min khalaqin. Ikra wa rabbuka al-akram. Alladhi allama bil qalami. Allama al-insan ma lam ya'lam. When the message was to be delivered through Prophet Muhammad to the humanity, Allah commanded, read. He said, I cannot read. The Malaika repeated, read. He said, I cannot read. He said, read for the third time. He now said, in the name of your Lord, who created all that exists. He has created man from a clot. Read. Your Lord is most generous, who has taught the writing by the pen. He has taught man that which he knew not. The verses therein, if we check from 96, the last contains 19 chapters. If you read from 19 to 140, that first figure is a prime number. The total number of chapters in the Quran is even. That's mathematics. And the first, by arrangement of chapters in the Quran is 96. And that is even. We need to take note again pretend that God is the mathematician. We used to repeat these 19 letters in Arabic, telling us about the mathematics of life. That was why when I started, I said, Bismillahi Rahmani Rahim. With the belief and the testimony that whatever I want to say after I've been ordained. The other verse reminds us that only Allah knows what the pen will write. It also mentions the creation of man from the blood. That is true. The natural counting the man used in daily activities and living endeavor. That is dynamism in living. It is therefore not surprising that the counting and its associated usage are natural with human beings. God being the greatest mathematician created everything on earth in right proportions. Created human beings into nations and what they will depend on as means of livelihood. The Allah the Exalted reminded us, Subhanallah, خلق أزواج كلها ممن تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم وممن لا يعلمون. The Exalted is He who created all peers. As we have man, we have woman, whether in the higher animal or lower animal. From what the earth grows, and from themselves, and from that which they do not know. In the same perspective, when we look at the firmament, that is celestial bodies. Sometimes some people will say sun and moons are fighting. It is never so. All are being regulated. Allah reminds us and maintains that La Shamsu Yambagi Laha and Tudrika the Qamara Wala Laylu Sabikuna Hada Wa Kullun Bil Falaki Yasbahu. It is not allowable for the sun to reach the moon as we used to observe, nor does night overtake the day, we all know. But each in an orbit, they are swimming. That's divine calculation. They can never know. Divine creation is structured by time, sequence, order, and proportion. Creation is organized in complementary pairs, reflecting balance and symmetry. Man, woman, island, lowland, day, night, heaven, hell. Rain, rising, winter, summer, spring, fall. As we have southwest monsoon wind, there is also what we call northeast trade wind. We walk in the day and we rest in the night. Natural systems, seasons, landscapes, and celestial bodies follow mathematical order. Symmetry in human and animal mathematical beauty in creation. Mathematics underpins harmony, balance, and structure in the natural world. Mathematics from grade to grade. There is time to begin and there is time to be. Mathematical understanding begins at birth and continues throughout life. Early awareness of absence and presence reflects partition, now mathematical reasoning. Mathematics shapes logical thinking, sound reasoning from childhood. Mathematical learning from childhood shapes sound reasoning and cognitive decision. Early exposure to mathematics builds durable analytical and argumentative foundations. Mathematical thinking becomes a second nature through sustained learning every human engages with mathematics in daily life, consciously or unconsciously. Mathematics structures routine, human actions, decisions, and bodily regulations. Time awareness, rest, movement, and health reflects the implicit mathematical reasoning. Life without mathematics is practically inconceivable. The origin of mathematics. It originated with humans' need to solve quantitative problems of daily life. For example, if you establish a university, you need curriculum to work with. People are to be employed. They have to interpret the curriculum to match those employed and the students they will give admission. Over time, mathematics has been variously understood as a language tool, art and process. As a language, mathematics enables precise expression, transmission, and interpretation of scientific ideas. Mathematical language reduces ambiguity and error in representing knowledge of physical world. Mathematical functions both as process, that is problem solving, and as product, that's what we call established knowledge. As a process, mathematics involves logical and valid reasoning applied to real life situations. Mathematics studies quantities, measurement, properties, and relationship using symbols and numbers, as can be seen on this table. Prehistoric mathematics dwell on counting geometry with what I have been saying. The ancient arithmetic, geometry, early algebra, classical, that's logical structure, medieval period, preservation and translation. The Renaissance, you remember the rebirth of learning, where we have algebra, geometry, and perspective. The well-being enlightenment, calculus, physics, and logic came to being. 19th, 20th, and 21st century, they work rigorous analysis, computation, they do what we call applied mathematics. Of course, presently, AI and what everybody's making noise about is data science. It means all this will be interdisciplinary use. Human society began with simple systems of creation, identification, and recorder. Creation reflects balance. Natural numbers for foundation of indigenous knowledge system. Every society develops its own numeral counting practices. Nigeria's indigenous communities possess rich and diverse counting. By the way they design Nigeria politically, in terms of language and culture, you have Hausa Fulani, you have Yoruba, you have Igbo. Of course, they only did that for counties. There are other groups, and they have been created. This creation is for us to identify ourselves. Suffice to say that if you want to read, you want to learn in each of these languages. We have English, that's Dogon Turing. You have Yoruba, you have Hausa, Igbo, Fulfulde. If I don't mention Juku, maybe tomorrow, my friend here will send me out of this place. Oh, you are not allowed to do that. Tiv is there, Tef is there, Mumie. I have to mention some in Taraba. Out of all the states created in Nigeria, Taraba state has many languages. In a local government, you may have tribes with more than 4 languages. Yes, the one we have similar one in the south is Edo State. And they understand themselves. That is work of God. So, the goal of mathematics and mathematics education national policy has said this: central to achieving national educational goals, as indispensable to educated individuals, is support practical life where we talk of vocation, competence, and cultural development. It's required across all educational pathways and approaches. It's effective. Teaching is systematic and continuous. The process of learning, as we all know, is by acquisition. It is what you acquire through repeated and reflection. You retain. It is what you retain over time, that when they ask you to talk about it again, you'll be able to recall. And of course, difficulty in recall contributes to anxiety. If you cannot recall, that's where the blood will flow in somebody that is lazy. You think of cheating in the exam. This is not good. Difficulty in recall contributes to anxiety and fear of mathematics. Effective teaching should progress from simple to complex. Regular practice strengthens retention and recall. There are other ones that affect better learning. Environment is there, biological is there, physiological, makeup is there, genetic is there. Good nutrition. A child that is not fed well may not necessarily do well in mathematics. You cannot be hungry and say you want to learn anything. Student ability. Parental influence, do not do maths. No. It's difficult. That's how we woke up to meet it. So, they can shape attitude and the choice of the subject. Then the way they perform to are equally useful in talking about what happened. Personality traits. Moderate anxiety, we have moderate, we have middle, and so on like that. Motivation and reinforcement from those who are imparting knowledge can help them achieve. Cultural and religious matter too, affect people in maths. Yes, the role of maths in national development we can see. If we make use of mathematics, we may not necessarily have a lot of problems. We can readily design something that will be useful for us. We can do some material analysis and system optimization. Mathematics supports agricultural planning through measurement, flow rates, and resource management. If you know that the land is bad, how do you wake it up? Let me use that land. Accounting, management, finance rely on mathematics for decision making. It's essential in medicine for diagnosis, dosage calculation, risk assessment, and monitoring. Lego practice, my Lego people, from mathematical in analysis, you can all their evidence. And of course, if you use mathematics very well, we can gain a lot in our electoral processes. Chemistry and biology depends on mathematics for model reaction. Architecture applies geometry, algebra, and trigonometry. Business manual uses mathematics. Geology, technology, science, and statistics. Trade and craft apply mathematics in measurement. Mathematics supports sports, technology, manufacturing, and everyday economic activity. National development depends on mathematical capacity. All these challenges. We do modeling in maths. Everything I've been saying, they can be modeled. It simplifies the reality for analysis. There's what we call hypothesis testing and performance optimization. A mathematical model maps a real-world phenomenon. Mathematical symbols and operations. Live listening system capable of essential functions. If you are eating, you know you have life. If you are breathing, you know you have life. If you can move about and be moving and dancing as I was doing, we know there is life in you. In life, you grow, you reproduce, and respond to stimuli. The nucleus of life is central control of these vital functions. Fluid mechanics studies fluid mechanics. It studies the behavior of liquid, gas, and plasma under forces. This is also about motion of fluids, liquid, and gases, and forces acting on them. We have fluid kinematics, dynamics, and statics. Applications are bound where we have to calculate convective heat transfer, mass transfer, magnetic hydrodynamics, computational fluid mechanics, environmental flow, biofluid mechanics, viscous flow, pipe flow, analysis and fluid machinery. As this fan is strictly blowing air to me, this is human-generated conversion, where the one that is natural, when it blows across, we know that one. We can combine the two of them for the use of man. We call one false conversion, and this is the one. The one I mentioned after is natural conversion. We have rivers, seas, and so on like that, example of fluid. Every activity we do in water, if you go to Ibi or Chinkai, you see the flow of river Benue across, full of activities. People are benefiting. Historically, the study of flow developed through hydraulics based on experiment and practical needs, such as irrigation, that you know Egyptian irrigation, transportation. If you want to cross Chinkai to Nasarawa State, they will cross you using their means of transport. The same thing applies to EV. These approaches have since merged into single discipline known as what? Fluid mechanics. Scientific description of fluid motion relies on expressing fundamental physical laws. These physical laws are conservation law, Newton's second law of motion, and first law of thermodynamics. We can describe fluids using Lagrangian, Eulerian equations. We can classify fluid into time dependent. When we talk of steady and unsteady, for example, a man that is trying to urinate, if you urinate correctly, it may be a steady one if it is a normal urination. It will be unsteady if there is a kind of viscosity that is preventing the urine to move. Spatial dimension is in 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension. We have flow regime, can be laminar, can be turbulent, density variation, can be compressible, can be incompressible. Motion can be rotational or irrotational. All yes, we have geometric aspect of internal pipes and external, and the way the air leave from the airport, they are part of what we learn. Then you have closed the system that means streamlined system of body. CFD, we can solve them and explain to human being. The one existing now and others are still there. Finite difference method, that's when we begin the calculations. The student will begin to just look at you. Where the lecturer cannot explain very well, we will send the person out of the classroom. We implore us to do this well. There are properties of fluid. Fluid can be ideal, can be other way around. What we consider, we say fluid is ideal. We have density, viscosity, rotation. Ideal fluid and real fluid, they are displayed on the table. and some assumptions are realities that we have to make when calculating to explain to human beings. Mechanical application of fluid mechanics can be found. You see that tanker there, you see what I've mentioned. And of course, all these ones are what we can use and predict models. We can equally, our lives is sustained by food. Yes, you have heart and blood. Heart is pumping, we have pressure and resistance. And one will now say, what has blood got to do with it? We have to categorize the kind of fluids. Here you have the one going, for example. We got to that one, visco elastic. Like the honey that we all like to take all the time is visco elastic. The blood flow in arteries and veins, we have movement in the lungs, we have some porous tissues. Every human being has been created. We give you count one by one, we can't count in years. You have 8 or 9. You can all count. They are all useful. If you don't use them very well, you have problem with it. And this is what can make your life, mar your life, or make your life. Blood flow, we use momentum and mass conservation to do that. If you want to talk of heat, you want to do a kind of nutrients digestion. We work on thermodigestion. Cellular environment, porous media in human and non-human can talk about that. The sample are what we have in engineering. We have this sample on transportation, and we have this structure and in the environment. Float is invisible load. Building, bridges, rivers. We have local wind loading. Weather and wind cycle. We have lasting flow system, like I talk of air masses, northeast trade winds, southwest wind zones. Then we have movement of the ocean and of course the groundwater, which we explore to do a lot of boreholes. And this must be checked. The engineer will talk about that one. It must be checked. If not checked, you will just see that something will happen. We want good things to happen to us. We are only trying to tell us we use mathematical approach to save our life. Modeling in engineering can be analytical, experimental, and computational. I have mentioned that. We can apply fluids in using binary potential and large water bodies. Practical applications are in hydraulics, aerodynamics, in pipelines that store water to our houses. We talk of heat exchange. We use those methods I mentioned earlier to analyze mathematics and biological nucleus. The nucleus function as control center of cell. It houses DNA, the hereditary blueprint of life. Nucleus control center of biological system, as the brain controls our whole body system. DNA is mathematical code that gives sequence, can be symmetrical, and we can use probability to express to ordinary person on the road to learn what mathematical concept is. It regulates growth, it replicates, and it involves what we call information transfer. As I am before this audience, everybody has been authentic. This is what mathematics does. Mathematics does. It is governed by the features listed and can be interpreted the way we see on that table. The nucleus of knowledge, when you say nucleus of knowledge, we must think of genetic algorithm. Governing equations to find out and include mechanisms. In science, we model laws and we predict. And most of our thinking, our activities can be predicted. Mathematical observation to understanding. As the nucleus of science, this is a universal grammar of nature. It is not merely a discipline, but language through which nature speaks, provides structure, coherence, predictability across all sciences. Every scientific law gains meaning through mathematical expressions. We can see this across sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, ecology, and others. The living population. If you want to regulate your country, you need mathematics and mathematicians to help you. The models are already there for you to sustain agriculture, ecology, and of course, public health. You can use mathematics to express the enzyme activities. You can have low substrate as we use Nucleus maintained equation as shown. Why it matters to us is if you want your body to function very well, you must not go beyond drug limit given to you, because they will say 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. Because you miss one day, you now say, let me put 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. Drug dosage limit to help you. Human digestion capacity, you can regulate that through mathematics. Industrializing design, you can do that. It teaches optimal input and not excess. When we talk of genetics, we have genetics of stability, mutation, migration. You have to move from one place to another because of war and so like that, selection. And of course, meaning that there must be a change. It provides baseline for evolution. In mathematics of genetics, stability exists when the balance is preserved. It is a universal lesson. We can see it. You balance and sustain your life. In economics, you grow and there is need for living. In education, there is what we call capacity. It matters. In governance, stability requires restraint, discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, advancing applied mathematics through food metrics have been mentioned. My research trajectory is anchored on mathematical modeling of non-linear food flow, particularly with uniform hydrodynamics, heat, and mass transfer. In porous level, whether you want to make a human being of the soil or into water. This studies translates abstraction mathematics into solution for agriculture, food security, health, energy, and environmental sustainability. The core mathematical themes, as mentioned, as refined on the tables. The mathematical models and the application are listed, and the expansion into environmental and industrial systems are listed. Biological and medical applications are listed. We have flow reports, EMA, transport, human teachings. Of course, refining predictive activity, shrinking and stretching surfaces come to play. All the systems we have in our body is shrink, it can be stretched depending on what happens. If there is a problem with one of them, it's either they cut a part to match a part so that we can achieve more stability. The work that had to knowledge. The robust knowledge and mathematical model, bridge theory and application. These studies demonstrate mathematical linking agriculture, medicine, energy, and environmental stability. The collaborative studies are engaging, few are listed, Mr. Vice Chancellor of our audience, and especially present. The outcomes of my research engagement over more than 2 decades in academia, whether it's part-time, sabbatical, or full-time. This was part of intellectual foundations of this inaugural lecture. I don't know whether we can see this one. we have numerical analysis. What we did on numerical analysis are non-linear differential equations. We focus on theory and computations. We have 6 of them. Applied mathematics and chemical reactions, nanotechnology and nanofluid. We have 8 of them. Heat and mass transfer. We have 5 of them. Viscoelastic flow. When we talk of blood flow in the body, how the volume will take all the time act in the body, we have 4. Mathematical modeling in society. We have drug abuse, violence control, and wellness. We have 4. Magnetohydrodynamic entropy and energy generation. We have 2. Environmental control and food security. We have 9. Multidisciplinary and analytical dynamics across discipline and cross-discipline integration. We have 28. We have book chapters that I have collaborated with people. We have 15. We have education, those in education and how we study and how we study human beings, how human beings study. We have 10. Then biochemical process. Talking about drugs, we have 1. Intellectual signature. Strong emphasis on non-linear mathematical modeling, integration of pure theory with real-world applications. We have been able to apply. We list them: engineering and nervous system, health, wellness, and human being. Environment, food, security, sustainability. Yes, we have commitment to multidisciplinary. My contribution to teaching, administration, and community service, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished audience. Beyond research, remain actively engaged in teaching academic administration, especially when I came to this university. I was the first to lecture when they say who is to teach mathematics when we are nobody services. That was 2012. I was the first to teach that day. So teaching experience across 4 Nigerian institutions, 2 times sabbatical. I mentioned that. We have run through pure mathematics, applied mathematics, which we have good analytical dynamics at the following level or college of technology. The undergraduate, that is the one we have at postgraduate. Research, visibility, and scholarly impact as latest record. Indicator here shows Google Scholar 338, H index 12, I index 14, World ranking 901,708, the country ranking 6,895, university ranking number 28, publication last 5 years, as rated 9, last 5 years from 75, that's a 5%. Supervision and mentorship. Throughout my sojourn in academics, I've supervised bachelor's projects, that's 61, we have BSc Mathematics 35, BSc Mathematics Education 15, BSc Communication Technology 11, PGD project 210, PGD for Information Technology 11, Master's Dissertation IT, that is on IT 39, Master's Dissertation in Applied Mathematics 5. I jointly supervised a PhD who graduated and we have done the competition here. There are other ones. I've been an HOD, I've coordinated a project, I've been an examination officer, a member of certificate verification, a member of review materials institution when we have internal whatever in this community, chairman of student handbook, accreditation and curriculum committee member. Yes, this can be found in now, NCI labels and cabinet, external auditor examiner, now other institutions that we know in this North Nigeria, online training and consultancy, notable is large metaverse and affiliated center. Professional and editorial services I have the opportunity to have participated in the next journal, that's Multidisciplinary International. Review and editorial, these are listed. And the National Mathematical Society, I have attended and have participated actively in Lagos Union Kano. And of course, I want to tell this of God's visitor that in a year, if I don't sponsor, I attend nothing less than 3-4 academic societies in a year. Yes, all other ones not sponsored by the university and affiliated are self-funded. And thank you. Less than 6 active academic congresses every year. I mentioned that. Community and national services. I've been grand patron, I've been secretary, president, member to Muslim Student Society in Southwest, Lagos, for instance, and of course, Taraba State. Secretary and president member, Muslim Staff and Student Forum, Federal University Wukari. I have equally donated the wealth of my knowledge to universities in Nigeria. Sule Lamido is there, Kafi Hausa, Taraba State University is there, and of course, when the university asked for the award to best FGMD in Lagos, Kaduna, Ilorin, Kwara, Owanjo Foundation is an example, equally in Bayelsa and Akwa Ibom. Online training is purely applied. Keynote addresses. I have given keynote addresses at my alma mater. One of them, that is ICEE, University of Ibadan. The Ondo State called me again, I did that. I have facilitated and I have some affiliated institutions which are listed there. Professional membership, I've been a member of MAN, STAN, Mathematical Society, Mathematical Physics, Mathematical Biology, Science Association of Nigeria, Curriculum Conference of Nigeria. Is this CASMIS Conference of, leave that one. International and regional, I participated in African Mathematical Union, African Society for ICT, African Institute of Mathematics Science, Cameroon. I'm a member of Society for Technology. Then CIMASI, that's Africa in science. Our specialized group that I have played with. We have a mathematical analytical group in UNILAG. We have that of other institutions listed. Let me just conclude. Every nation that seeks sustainable development must place mathematics at the forefront of its national, economic, and technological agenda. Mathematics is not only a compulsory prerequisite for entry to higher institutions of learning, it is also a silent framework that underpins daily human activity. This lecture has demonstrated that mathematics permeates virtually all professions, an aspect of life, education, engineering, commerce, agriculture, medicine, architecture, law, computing, population studies, and governance. Even routine medical institutions rely fundamentally on mathematical reasoning and measurement. Beyond professional practice, it provides tools for understanding time, space, stability and change, elasticity and rigidity, flow and resistance. Concepts that govern natural and human-made systems alike. In addressing Nigerian perennial challenges, mathematics offers structured problem-solving approaches for individual, community, corporate bodies, government institutions. When properly applied, it supports informed decision-making, efficient resource management, and sustainable living. In the light of this inaugural lecture, theme, mathematics, the nucleus of life and all professions, remembrance, life, remembrance, knowledge, understanding, mathematics emerges as both memory and legends of civilization. It preserves the accumulated human knowledge, organizes it into coherent system, clarifies meaning through understanding, and translates insight into practical application, just as Nucleus sustains the integrity of the cell. Mathematics sustains intellectual and emotional integrity. It empowers the scientists to predict, the engineers to design, the physician to diagnose, the economists to forecast, and education to illuminate. In every sphere of immanent labor, mathematics remains invisible but indispensable nucleus. Government can find something to use with this we are telling us today. Can integrate mathematics into national development strategies, into agricultural, major, manufacturing input, healthcare matter, small large-scale enterprises, development, information and communication technology, and of course, export-oriented production. Strategic investment in mathematics education through improved funding, teacher training and retention, curricular adaptation, functional mathematics laboratories, and continual professional development remains essential for national progress. At the individual and community level, mathematics is responsible, is seen as responsible living, moderation, and informed decision-making. Should be embraced. Recognizing that health and productivity, productivity and sustainability are governed by the measuring principles and balances. Researchers are encouraged to pursue collaborative, interdisciplinary studies. I have some academic reflection. I'm not going to do it because time. When I was young, we were asking what will you be in the future. I see I would like to have. In the process of that discussion, the teacher monitoring the student I have to come up and say, maybe you do not understand what you are saying. Will you be a teacher, a tutor, or scientist? I only responded, I would like to be happy. And teacher modified. If you want to be a mathematician, you say you want by passion to also with success and joy. My teachers, my lecturers, the professors, you have got time. You have got smart so that I can have knowledge. I will never forget you in my life. And that's the one is for you. And I say, I know that it's not only that. I refer to all of you standing and listening to me. I never have a moment of humility. For my Lord, may Lord have mercy on all of you. Forgive us and our brothers who preceded us in prayer. These prayers is for those who have presented this at this podium, those who have prepared before now, including our families, all those who taught me at Inaugural, the elementary Arabic school, the advanced one, primary, secondary, all other sorting, always with me. There are so many people here I mentioned that you have the booklet with you can read them. Ranging from all my life, I'm indebted to all my companions, notable my wife. Who, with all odds, still accept me. I call her my golden wife. God be with her. From Abaji and the Kwaraba Kingdom and their representatives, I appreciate all of you. Wakili Adamawa, our former bosser, our present bosser, our secretary to the council. I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
We can do greater than that. Let's put our hands together for him. He accepts that after the inaugural lecture, the Department of the Vice Chancellor can we continue on that? Quickly, let me invite Dr. Isaac of our inaugural lecturer today.
It was beneficial to Mexico. I'm so sorry to our officers and the entire audience. Pardon this morning to raise an illustrious son of Lagos State. He was born in Lagos over 60 years ago at a time of great historical significance in southwestern Nigeria, when the youngest king, Awujale, was crowned. He hails from Agege local government area in Lagos, West Senatorial District. He is happily married and blessed with 5 children, whose ages range from early childhood to mature adulthood, reflecting a life rich in responsibility, discipline, and fulfillment. Professor Amoo academic journey is a testimony to perseverance, intellectual curiosity, and uncommon commitment to lifelong learning. Beginning from his early education in Lagos, he obtained his grade 2 teacher certificate from the African Church Teachers College in Ifako, Agege, in 1984, where he distinguished himself as the best overall student and best student in mathematics and several other things. This early excellence laid the foundation for his enduring love for teaching and scholarship. He proceeded to obtain the Nigerian certificate in education in mathematics and geography from Lagos State College of Education, Oto Ijaniki, in 1989. Thereafter, he earned his Bachelor of Science in Education in Mathematics from Okogbaa State University, Agoiwe. In 1998, followed by Master of Education in Mathematics from the State Institution. In the year 2000, driven by his passion for both education and pure science, he further acquired Master of Science in Mathematics from Olabisi Onabanjo University in the year 2010. Not stopping there, Professor Amoo distinguished himself by earning 2 doctoral degrees. He obtained the first PhD in Evaluation and Mathematics from the University of Ibadan. His second PhD in Mathematics with specialization in fluid methods was obtained from the prestigious University of Ilorin, where his research addressed advanced problems in magnetohydrodynamics, heat and mass transfer, and porous media. This year's blend of education applied mathematics and fluid dynamics set him apart as a uniquely versatile scholar. Professor Amoo joined the Federal University in the year 2012 as a lecturer 2 and rose steadily through the ranks by merit and dedication. He became lecturer 1 in the year 2013, senior lecturer in the year 2015, and associate professor in the year 2017. And finally, he became professor in the year 2019. His promotion history is a reflection of consistent productivity, quality scholarship, and devoted service to the university. He has taught an extraordinary range of courses at sub-degree, undergraduate, and postgraduate levels. As a researcher, Professor Amoo is a prolific scholar with over 120 publications to his credit in reputable national and international journals. His research spans mechanics, dynamics, among others. Professor Amoo is deeply committed to professional service. He is a member of numerous national and international professions, as he has mentioned. Administratively, Professor Amoo has rendered exceptional service to Federal University, Wukari. He has served multiple times as head of department, Senate member, chairman of accreditation committee, chairman of curriculum committee, chairman of student handbook committee, among others. Beyond the university, he has served as external examiner, external moderator, and project supervisor for institutions such as National Open University, Taraba State University, Federal University of Makurdi, Modibo Adamawa, University of Technology Yola, and several colleges of education. His academic influence therefore cut across Nigeria's higher education landscape. Professor Sikiru Amoo is not only a teacher and researcher, but also a mentor, a disciplinarian, and a builder of academic structure. His life reflects a harmonious blend of scholarship, service, humility, and dedication to national development through mathematics and education. Distinguished audience, today we celebrate not just a professor of mathematics, but a symbol of academic excellence, resilience, and intellectual versatility. We celebrate a man whose career embodies the idea of the university for teaching, research, and service. It is therefore with great honor, pride, and deep respect that I present to you the distinguished 14th inaugural lecturer of our prestigious university, one of the best federal universities in our region and in Nigeria, Federal University of Wukari, as the inaugural lecturer for this great institution. Please join me in welcoming our inaugural lecturer.
I will never forget in my life what the architect of my life. Allah's reward is there for you, my parents. Allah's reward is there for you, doctor. Allah's reward is there for you, Prof. Allah's reward is there for you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And he has been well received. He has talked elaborately on the roles of mathematics in national development. I think he said it's his turn too. So it's his turn. It has been his turn to tell us how mathematics can be used in national development. And he has not told us, well, if he ever looks for vote, I hope you will vote for him, because it's his turn. But don't ask him when and where he's going to contest. You know, in the current lecture, you don't ask questions. So should you have any questions, when you go out, you can talk to the guy. So thank you very much, Prof, for that wonderful lecture. As usual, we have something to give to him. Is it available now?
yes, sir.
Award of Excellence presented to the 14th inaugural lecturer, Professor Sikiru Adesina Amoo, PhD, who delivered a lecture on mathematics, the Nucleus of life, and all perfections. Remember, knowledge, understanding, and application. Congratulations. This is anyway. It contains a manifesto. Should he join a political party? Yeah. This one is from Federal University of Wukari, actually. It's just a letter of commendation. Thank you very much.
This inaugural series have been so progressive from count 1 to count 14 today. The university deserves a round of applause. And this count 1 to count 14, I think the university is 14 or 15 years now. It's like the Vice Chancellor vowed that he will not go until we have an equal count to the age of the university. So by tomorrow, we will be having the 15th inaugural lecture, which will be equal to the age of Federal University. And by the grace of God, we will be having Professor Samuel Baba Onoja, the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, who will be presenting his 15th inaugural lecture of this university. I don't know whether I will still persist on my initial assumption that by the grace of God, this count will continue even when our Chancellor is far gone. More crowd, the crowd from town, you're all welcome. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.
Thank you very much. Welcome. On behalf of the Minister of this University, permit me to stand on the protocol established. When given opportunity like this, anytime, anywhere, any day, I will not fail to appreciate God. First of all, I want to thank the Almighty God for making today a reality, making today a dream come true. And I also want to appreciate the Vice Chancellor. In fact, I will say that he has, with time, sustained the tempo and the consistency of this inaugural lectures in this university. And I want to appreciate him also because I know under his leadership, the total number, as the chairman of the committee just said, the total number of inaugural lectures under him is unsurpassed. I think we can give him that kudos. And then also to the inaugural lecturer, I want to thank you also. In fact, looking at the inaugural lecture delivered today, just like you said, it's a product of his sojourn in academics. And I know that the lecture is indeed groundbreaking. The lecture is indeed, in fact, an eye-opener for all. And it will continue to shape the academic culture of this university from time to time. I think they are not present here. Whether in attention, I want to thank them also. And I want to thank all the DVCs, both academics and admin. I also want to thank the deans of faculties and the HODs here present, at least for making our time to be here today, despite your tight schedule. And I also want to thank all the HODs who are here present today, and all other professors. No, please, I'm supposed to have mentioned that to all the HODs. All professors here present, I appreciate your presence here. Thank you for coming to grace this important occasion. And to you all, invited guests, and those from town, for creating time out of your time schedule to come and grace this occasion I say thank you. And I also pray that the same God that has brought you will take you back to your destination as well. And to you students who are here and staff as well, other senior management staff, I want to say that without your presence, this occasion wouldn't be meaningful. I also thank you so much. And I pray that the Almighty God, who has brought us to this.
I think this time around today, we came here and we started here. I want to announce to our students at this moment, I invite the class as well. Come over for the closing remarks. Let's announce.
I want to thank you very much for coming and for listening. I've heard the chairman of the Ceremonial Committee saying that by the time the next DC will be leaving, maybe we'll be having a 30th population lecture. But I don't think that's going to be a good thing. The next DC will perform far, far better than me at the lecture. Yes. You know, we started this thing late, and people were reluctant to give me the grand lectures. That inertia was there. Until Professor Ekanem brought the jigs and started. Even then, he was still taking people to the staff hall and give the grand lectures. Now, and I repeat, now, people are struggling to give the grand lectures. Even using their accounts. That's what is happening in this university, and I'm very, very happy. I thank Professor Amoo stepping out to give the lecture, and I thank Professor Onoja even before he comes to give his lecture tomorrow. One or two have also given lectures like that, and I want to thank them immensely for the sacrifices. This is not enough. When the Professor Wukari gave his lecture, on the 14th, isn't it? So between 14th and tomorrow will be 23rd. Between 14th and 23rd, we would have taken normally 11 lectures. 3. So at that rate, how can a DC come and in 5 years you will do 15? I'm telling you, it's going to clear all of your support. On that note, it's my pleasure to declare this Inaugural lecture closed.
Bibi, the national anthem.
Gani ngwe boani ndabe kani bogani Hello? Hello? I never started. I was saying that.
of today.
Thank you very much. The inaugural lecture, which was the 14th inaugural lecture of this university, presented by Professor Amoo, Sikiru Amoo, on mathematics. He says the nucleus of all professions, for remembrance and for knowledge and for applications. According to the lecture, as a specialist of fluid dynamics, he spoke about all fluids, like he made mention of rivers, which will help the scientists to have the avenue for prediction, maybe knowing the flow rates, maybe knowing the rate of flow, and thereby from there you can predict more about how much water is being flown through the rivers at each time. This can be good for water supply system, and he also mentioned of it helps even the medical doctor to know when to diagnose, the rates at which he needs to diagnose, the interval of time he needs to diagnose and apply the drugs of his choice. Mathematics helps him to calculate. So he said that mathematics helps each and everybody, even in biology, even in real spheres of life.
I'll hold it for you. You have discussed about mathematics and you want to know more. What prompts you to bring up about this topic?
Well, it started from the tender age. My parents are entrepreneurs, they're government workers. As God will have it, I learned so many things from them. When I eventually entered formal level education, I found out that I was doing well. People are congratulating me. With that, I just felt that I should continue. I impart to knowledge of it. I have studied or I've taught at almost every level, be it nursery, primary, secondary, all these other levels, including I enjoyed it. I'm glad in it. For it to come today, I must but remember all those who made it happen. My parents were wonderful, my siblings were wonderful, those who brought me up were wonderful, my children were wonderful, wonderful. And of course, at every step, I remember that mathematics, with mathematics you can sustain life. And in fact, when it comes to governance, mathematics has solved the problem as we have heard at the inaugural lecture. Well, I enjoy doing it.
You said sir, the mathematics is alive.
Yes.
We want to know more about how you get to discover that.
Yes. You find out that, take for instance, all those who want to talk or study about everything that pertains to life, they need calculation. They need what? Calculation. And they need to regulate. They need measurement. In fact, as we are, if anything in our system is missing, then there's problem. And that's why I just say, Kai is the nucleus of life. Without maths, we may not necessarily exist. Because maths equally talks from cradle to grave. At the time we are born, it's recorded. At the time we live, they record it. And in the course of living, every step, every action, be spiritual, mundane, is recorded.
Please, sir, what is your book about? And what's the title of your book?
Yes, we have modeled some real life situations, and we are talking about applications, and that's the one we want to do today. There are others.
Not only that. Title, sir.
That's it. I've said it.